An actual answer to all of our RAM problems was recently announced, and it's a complete game changer. I'm talking a brand new memory standard that uses flash storage instead of traditional memory. Welcome everyone to Gamer Melt. So tons of you have been requesting that I talk about this story because frankly, it's a huge deal. So as many of you know, the RAM shortage and subsequent sky-high prices are all thanks to companies building out AI. Specifically, demand for a memory type called HBM, or high bandwidth memory, has incentivized memory makers to shift production away from consumer memory like DDR5 to HBM. So the way to actually solve this is to meet the memory demand of AI companies without taking any more from consumer memory. And that's exactly what SanDisk and SK Hynix are trying to do with a brand new standard called HBF, or high bandwidth flash. And yes, the flash part means exactly what it sounds like. This is essentially NAND flash, the same fundamental type of storage used inside SSDs, being turned into an entirely new class of memory. Now, you might be wondering how they actually get flash anywhere near the bandwidth of HBM, and that's where things get interesting, because they essentially take the same general approach as HBM, but apply it to NAND flash. HBF stacks a huge number of NAND dies together and accesses them all in parallel. Then, like HBM, it's designed to sit right beside the AI processor, and it uses the industry standard interconnect made for fast die-to-die communication called UCIe, which gives it an insanely wide interface. The newly released specification supports packages with up to 512 gigabytes of flash and bandwidth ranging all the way up to around 3 terabytes per second. That's absolutely ridiculous for NAND, and because flash is so much denser than DRAM, SanDisk says HBF could potentially provide somewhere around 8 to 16 times the capacity of HBM at a similar package cost. Now, as you might guess, this new memory does suffer from higher latency than HBM, so they would still need some HBM for certain data that requires low latency, but they wouldn't need nearly as much. And what's even better is that this is being developed as an open standard instead of a proprietary one. To top it all off, SanDisk claims that HBF-equipped AI hardware is targeting early 2027, which may sound bad, but keep in mind that people have been predicting for this crisis to last years. So honestly, it could be insanely helpful. Obviously, it won't make a difference tomorrow, but we won't have to wait too long. Now, I know I'm always talking about how depressing prices are right now, but I do have some good news, because there are some amazing back-to-school deals with today's sponsor, Micro Center. I'm talking deals like half off this laptop with 32 gigs of DDR5 memory. I mean, that alone is halfway worth the $900 this bad boy is going for. But it's a full laptop with 1TB PCI Express NVMe M.2 drive, Intel Core 7 150U, all for $900 off. The 5800X3D is $50 off. They have some awesome deals on bundles, and if that's not enough, they're offering my viewers a free 128 gig flash drive. And there's two ways to get it. First, for when their Austin, Texas store opens, and second, at the grand reopening event at their Columbus, Ohio store set for August 22nd. Just visit my link in the description, fill out the form, and visit the store during that time. Don't forget that Micro Center is the one place where you can get just about anything you could want for your PC build. So check all of those out down in the description below. This next story is proof that you cannot trust the cloud, that you need to store your own data, because one company just lost access to 70 years of its own history, despite paying someone specifically to keep that data safe. 9PBS, a public television station in St. Louis, had more than 50 terabytes of archival footage and programming stored with a cloud storage company called Open Source Storage, or OSS. They've been using the company and its predecessor since 2019, and were preparing to renew their contract earlier this year, except when the time came, OSS just didn't respond. Then 9PBS suddenly lost access to all of their data, even though they were supposed to have another 30 days to retrieve everything programming after the contract ended. And when the station started looking into what was going on, things got even worse. OSS's website had disappeared, and the company was listed as delinquent with the Colorado Secretary of State, meaning the company was basically just gone. This led them to discover that OSS was using another service to keep their data called Iron Mountain, a massive company that specializes in data and record storage. So 9PBS sent a demand letter to Iron Mountain asking them to preserve the files, and after initially refusing to even confirm they had the data, Iron Mountain eventually acknowledged that they did. So problem solved, right? Well, not exactly. Iron Mountain apparently first agreed to return the data but then backed out, arguing that OSS is technically its customer and owns the stored material. And I can somewhat understand that from their perspective. This is definitely OSS's fault, but it leaves 9PBS in a really bad place. A Colorado court already ruled that 9PBS has the right to access the data and ordered OSS to help transfer it to another provider, but OSS doesn't really exist anymore. So 9PBS is currently suing Iron Mountain to make sure their archives don't get deleted while they figure this out. Ultimately, this is a huge reminder that cloud storage isn't all it's cracked up to be, that you need to keep your own copy. And lastly for today, AMD just doesn't stop. I mean, they refuse to take their foot off the gas no matter how far ahead of Intel they get. Case in point, a new leak from Moore's Law is Dead shows us AMD's plan for Zen 7 EPYC CPUs. And it's just insane at this point. I mean, if you thought that AMD's 256-core Zen 6 CPU was wild, wait until you hear about this. So this one is codenamed Snowmass, and according to the leak, this bad boy utilizes TSMC's A14 for the actual cores themselves. Now, that's not too much of a surprise, but it's still wild given AMD will have already moved up a node with Zen 6, and then is doing it again with Zen 7. Either way, according to an apparent internal presentation, the IPC uplift alone, so not clock increases or even from more cores, is between 15 and 25%. But it doesn't stop there, because he also claims that each core chiplet contains a whopping 48 cores. That's every chiplet, and it can use up to 8 chiplets for a total of 384 cores. I mean, at this point, I don't have a clue how Intel could possibly catch up to AMD. Obviously, I hope that they don't completely lose because we definitely still need competition. To make matters even crazier, he claims that AMD is planning a launch by mid-2028, even before their lower core count Steamboat chiplets. Not only that, but this claims that AMD is starting to reference TSMC's A13 node and even A10, so they could move down another node or two yet again after Zen 7. Basically, AMD is becoming unstoppable.